Good morning, fans of football. It's James Ernest and Mike Goodpaster for Tri State Football Weekly. We are excited to talk about two in conference undefeateds, the Bearcats and the Miami Redhawks. Coach, what have they been up to?
They've both been winning. They've both been kicking ass and taking names. And right now, when you look at the top of the Big 12 standings, you see Cincinnati tied with BYU. When you look at the top of the MAC standings, you see first place is none other than our Miami Redhawks. And I think when you look at this, the Redhawks have a big game coming up this week against Western Michigan, another team that's undefeated. There's a three-way tie at the top of that now. So this is a big week for both of these teams. And with UC, they go on the road to Stillwater. They beat a bad Oklahoma State team. Oklahoma State's lost 13 straight Big 12 games. That's not the point. The point here is they won 49-17. A little bit of a loss second and third quarter, but the first quarter, fourth quarter, they dominated the game. And the thing I really took away from this is Scott Satterfield. We all were hating on Scott Satterfield. They've now won 6 straight games. Their only loss was to Nebraska by a field goal. They've now won 4 straight games in the Big 12. They were already bowl eligible. And for a guy who everybody wanted to fire a month ago, James, including us, you don't hear any bitching and whining anymore.
No, he's definitely shut up a lot of the complainers. He's done a great job. I mean, and turned around how people feel about the program. As we've said in the past, if he wouldn't, or not him, because it wasn't his fault, if UC wouldn't have sold off the rights to the Nebraska game, oh gosh, who knows where they'd be right now.
Yeah, you might be undefeated, ranked in the top 10 or 15. And as it is right now, I know this sounds crazy, but a Big 12 championship game and a possible college football playoff is there. But we can't get ahead of ourselves because Baylor will be coming to town. They're a very good football team. But the thing I took away when I watched the Oklahoma State game, well, number one, I like to put up OSU versus Cincinnati recap and act like, the Bearcats beat Ohio State 49-17. But the thing that I really took away from this game again was Brendan Sorsby. I mean, he looked good again. He looks like a legit big-time quarterback. He was a major force in this offense again. He threw for 270 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also ran for a touchdown. And then wide receiver Cyrus Allen, he contributed 3 touchdowns just in the first half alone, 2 receiving, 1 rushing. Your guy, Joe Royer, looked good again.
Mm-hmm.
And the Cincinnati defense capitalized on crucial fourth quarter turnovers to basically secure the win, including probably the play of the year so far, a 100-yard interception return by Matthew McDoom, which doomed the Cowboys because they had a chance to cut it to 2 scores early in the fourth quarter until that ball was picked off and returned. And Oklahoma State is a mess. I mean, 4 years ago, they were a contender. Now you got an interim coach, Doug Meacham, who I don't think is going to be back. Probably the only thing really productive I saw from them, and something that can be concerning for the Bearcats, is running back Rodney Fields Jr. ran for 163 yards and a touchdown. That has to worry you. But I think the key turning points in this game were all in the fourth quarter. The score was 21-10 in favor of Cincinnati late in the second quarter. I'm going to give you a right before halftime, and then I'm going to give you the 2 fourth quarters. But Oklahoma State drove to the Cincinnati 6, and on a crucial 4th and 1 play, the OSU running back, I can't pronounce these names, so I'm not even going to try, was stopped for no gain, turned the ball over on downs, and instead of closing the gap, Oklahoma State gave Cincinnati the ball back with less than 3 minutes to go in the half. The Bearcats took full advantage, drove 94 yards for another touchdown, took a 28-10 lead going into the halftime. Now, the third quarter was basically an even quarter. The fourth quarter, that pick 6, Cincinnati had taken a commanding 35-17 lead, but Oklahoma State got the ball in the red zone again, down to the 14, when Michael McDoom picked off the pass, took it back 100 yards, and, Sam Jackson, who we made fun of last week, he's not the Samuel Jackson, but that interception pretty much ended the game at 42-17. And if that didn't end it, the Bearcats defense ended it on the very next possession. After the pick 6, They lose the ball on a botched snap. Cincinnati recovers the scores again, goes to 49-17. And I think you can sit here and you can say, well, it was Oklahoma State, and Oklahoma State's bad. But to me, this is a Cincinnati team that started the season 0-1, and everybody wanted everybody fired, including us. I will always
Mhm,
put that in. Everybody was upset about giving up the home game, which I think everybody will be forever.
mhm.
In the end here, Scott Satterfield has righted this ship, and they beat a power school 49-17 the way they should have beaten them, maybe worse than what they should have beaten them. I thought this was an impressive performance, James.
Well, the thing is, I know you say not to compare, two teams, with a common opponent to feel the difference, but I think doing that helps. For example, Baylor beat them 45-27, so it was a very comparable game, I would say.
It's comparable, but it really means nothing, James. Everybody beats them like that.
Okay, and then of course
Who
Baylor.
doesn't beat Oklahoma State like that, James? They're 1-6 and they haven't won a conference game since 2023.
Oh wow, I didn't know it was that
I know that was back when I was like 53. That was a long time ago.
bad. But yeah, I mean Baylor's 4-3. They've got really great running back in Washington. He's almost got 600 yards. Sawyer Robertson, their quarterback, is similar stats to Royer. Not Royer. I mean uh,
Source beat.
Sorsby. Yeah. So yeah, I mean it could be a tough game for him.
Yeah. Now, last season the Bears were fifth in the Big 12 standings with an overall record of 8-5. They had a conference record of 6-3. The last time the Bears and the Bearcats battled, UC came up a little bit short, 32-29. Dave Aranda is their coach. He is a solid football coach. I think this was a team people really thought would be better this year than what they have been, but they're a dangerous team. And Sawyer Robertson is a strong quarterback for Baylor. He's one of the better quarterbacks in the Big 12. Right now, he ranks fifth in the conference with a 74.8 PFF passing grade. I think he's going to be able to find success against the Bearcats in the air.
Mhm.
Now, I think the weakness for the Bearcats could be this. I think Brendan Sorsby is going to find even more success because the pass defense for Baylor ranks 111th, overall. And 111 is not very good. I mean, what is
No,
there?
no, that's
120,
not.
130 big or Division One teams. And, Baylor lost their top two coverage defenders, Rondo Johnson and Dave Lemire, and both of their starting edge rushers, Steve Linton and Garmin Randolph last year. And with the Bearcats being ranked 21st and being on a 6-game winning streak, I don't think UC has any plans of slowing down here. Now, I think Sawyer Robertson is going to be able to make some plays in the air. I think this is going to be a much tighter game, but the Bearcats have to be locked in. I think this is the best. This is one of the better teams they've played so far this season. And I think the Bearcats will get this done at home, and I think they'll get it done by 10 to 14 points.
So what is the projection, the spread?
You would ask me that. Hold on. Let me check my trusty phone here. And right now, I'm checking out FanDuel,
Mhm.
which is one of our top recommended betting sites for college football. So when we look at that, we're going to come down here. What time is this game played?
4 o'clock.
It would be. I got to look down farther then, James. I would imagine. Give me your guess on what you think the point spread would be. What would you make the point spread on this game? Because if you do that before you look at the point spread, sometimes that's the best way to see if you should bet a game or not, if that makes any sense.
I'm saying 10.
It is 4.5.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Baylor's a good team. Sawyer Robinson's legit. They were supposed to be a contender to win the Big 12 championship. And I'm not saying they're not a contender, but they're 2 games back and they're probably at 7th or 8th place right now.
Mhm.
Basically, this conference is going to come down to BYU, Cincinnati, Arizona State, Texas Tech, and Houston. I think your 2 finalists in the conference championship game are going to come from those 6 teams. You got Iowa State, who was ranked highly at the start. Now they're 2-2, and they lose a couple tiebreakers because they lost a couple of those games there against teams that are ranked above them. I think the Cincinnati Bearcats have a legit shot to run the table here and get to the Big 12 championship game. because when I look at the schedule, you've got Baylor. It's a tough game. You're at Utah. Tough game. Utah was ranked, but I don't think Utah's as good as people thought they were. You host Arizona, and then you get BYU at Cincinnati, November 22nd. That's the game to go to. You finish at TCU, which is a good team. So I think if the Bearcats were to finish this season 4-1, I think they're definitely in the conference championship game. I think 3-2, you've got an outside shot if that includes a win over BYU. So I think it sets up so they've got a chance to do something really special here. But they also, I could see them losing to everybody left on their schedule because everybody on their schedule that's left is a pretty good football team.
So it sounds like it could go either way for UC.
It can always go either way, but I actually tend to think maybe you get one loss there, you slip into a Big 12 championship game, and then you got a shot at the college football playoffs, which seems crazy to talk about when you look at the things we were talking about when this show first started this year. So, what about those Redhawks, though? I think
Exactly.
they look pretty good right now, don't they?
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, on a 4-game winning streak, can't go wrong with that. Yeah, they've been doing really well on offense. I mean, last week, 44-30 over East Michigan, which is funny. I guess we're going in order on our Michigans, from east to west. But yeah, they had a solid game last week.
Yeah, the thing that stood out to me is we were looking forward to DeQuan Finn when he got it going, and I think he's got it going now. You know, he threw for 2 touchdowns, ran for 2 touchdowns. The Redhawks rushed for 295 yards, 4 touchdowns. Jordan Brunson, who wasn't really on people's radar too much at the start of this year, led the way with 122 yards and a touchdown. You had Jones added in 66 yards and another score. And I think the 2 biggest things here, time of possession. The Redhawks dominated time of possession with 42 minutes. They converted 11 of 15 third downs. It does worry me a little bit that they gave up 30 points. You know, they're known for being a top-ranked scoring defense in recent years, but they appeared actually really vulnerable in this game, which worries me going up against the Western Michigan team, which on the surface, when you look at the record, looks like a very good team. So, I mean, right now the Redhawks are 4-3, and people forget they were real close to that upset win against UNLV, which would have made things really interesting if they were sitting at 5-2 right now. So, I don't know, James. What's your take on the Redhawks? I think Finn is huge to be able to run the ball, control tempo. The Miami defense does worry me, but maybe this was more of an anomaly.
Yeah, I agree with you. They win because of their defense in the past, and they're going to continue to do that in the future. And that Finn is basically the linchpin of their offense. He's not just a great quarterback; he is a great running quarterback as well. So yeah, that is huge. The thing about this game this week, 4-3, they're actually a lot. Western Michigan's a lot like Miami, and the
Oh,
fact that their non-conference games or where they lost with Michigan State. I mean, that's a tough conference or non-conference. North Texas and Illinois. So I mean, heck, playing 2 Big Ten schools.
yeah, and then North Texas team's pretty good, and they
Mhm.
only lost 33-30 there. They lost 23-6 to Western Michigan. Now they did lose to Illinois 38-0, but Illinois is a team that's been ranked all year long, and their only losses were to Indiana and Ohio State. They beat Toledo 14-13. Toledo's always good. You beat Rhode Island, you beat UMass, but this is my thing. You beat Ball State 42-0. So I think when you look at the level of competition the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's been about the same. The MAC, they're not playing the better MAC teams except for the Western Michigan win over Toledo. The game is at Miami, and the point spreads I've seen on this game are anywhere from 1.5 in favor of Miami to 3.5 points in favor of Miami. I think that point spread is probably about right. Just looks like it'll be a close game, James.
Yeah, it'll be a 3:30 start. So it is going to be a really tough call, in my opinion, which game to go to. I mean, if you could only watch one game, do you go watch the UC Baylor or do you go watch the Miami Western Michigan?
Honestly, I would go watch the team that has a chance to win a Big 12 or get to the Big 12 championship game in the college playoffs. And the other thing is this: you have a big time quarterback matchup. DeQuan Finn is good, but
Mhm.
he's not Sorsby. And I hate to say this for Miami fans, he's not Sawyer Robertson. And I will tell you this: with Western Michigan, I still have doubts about the offense, mainly because of the schedule. Rhode Island, UMass, Ball State. That's tailor made to make some noise and put up big stats. So I think with the cupcake trio behind them, I think Miami covers this spread at 1.5 or 3.5. James.
I agree. I think Coach Martin will find a way and win the game for him. And yeah, UC and Miami are going to continue their undefeated streak in conference, I believe, this week.
All right, James. Anything else before you wrap it up?
Oh, I know we're typically a football show, but UC did have a big win in basketball, 100-98 over Michigan. So that was kind of cool. I know it's just an exhibition game, and most people don't count
It's
them.
just an exhibition game, but I will tell you this. I mean, Michigan, I think, weren't they ranked like fifth in the country?
Yeah, they're a solid program.
So we will get to Bearcat basketball soon. I guess we got to have a Tri-State basketball weekly show too, don't we?
Sounds good. I look forward to it.
Oh, it looked like you weren't planning on
I don't know. I was open to it. Uh, with that, of course, I want to talk about my Norse and their victory and all that in their exhibition game over Ashland. I know it's just D2 school, but
Hey, you know what? It's better than I'm an Indiana fan. I have to admit that because I live in Indiana, grew up in Indiana, but never been anywhere but Indiana. Well, except for some trips and to go coach football in Ohio. But I mean, the thing about that is this. I ain't got nothing about that. I don't even
okay,
know what the hell I was talking about. That's the
no
CTEs
worries.
kicking
But
in.
yeah, UC, Xavier, Indiana.
Yeah, I mean
There's
that's the
so
great
much
thing. If we do
great
the college
basketball.
basketball show, we'll cover UC, Xavier, Northern Kentucky, Miami, Dayton.
Mhm.
We'll just leave it
Yeah.
at that.
Okay, that sounds
All the
good.
other ones, the Indianas, the Kentuckys, the Louisvilles, they all get enough press anyways. And
Exactly.
actually, if you do like Indiana, me and Steve Risley did our first Indiana basketball show of the season yesterday. You can check that out on the Grilling Truth also. And also, before James signs off and forgets to mention it, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell notification on YouTube. Follow us on X at Grilling Truth. James, it's all yours.
Excellent. Well, it's been James Ernest and Mike Goodpaster for the UC Bearcats and Miami Redhawks Tri-State Football Weekly.